I think that this is the era of whether, and I didn't like her policies at first, and I'm not necessarily in love with her policies, but people love AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that.
Is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
Person Crockett is part of the new trend where informality is okay, where formality used to reign. Yeah. Okay, fine. That's been going.
A podcaster talks or some shit. Fuck it, man. Can you imagine, I don't know, Obama saying, man, dude, this shit is whacked and fuck it. Just slap me. I'm fucking over it. I mean, come on.
All right, everyone, let's get into it. Things got heated on TV when Bill Maher didn't hold back in criticizing Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. In what looked like a tense on-air moment, Maher voiced his frustrations about what he sees as the growing focus on social media over serious politics in today's Democratic Party. He took issue with what he called a TikTok-style approach to politics, saying some younger members of Congress seem more interested in going viral than getting work done. He called out Jasmine Crockett's behavior during a recent House hearing and questioned whether it was more about performance than policy. Even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got a mention, with Maher implying that slogans like authenticity aren't enough when real decisions need to be made. Don Lemon came to their defense, standing up for progressive voices in politics. But Maher wasn't interested in softening his message. He argued that Congress is starting to look more like a stage for personal brands than a place to make laws. So today, we're breaking it all down: how politics turned into performance, and why that's making waves across the country. Let's get into the details. School.
Have trans people filming us in the bathroom. How many of these trannies are taking selfies? These men are taking selfies in women's spaces, in the bathroom. It's gross. It's disgusting. So if we're going to talk about civil rights, let's talk about the rights of women in this country and how you are stripping them away every single day. And you're doing it in your legislation, you're doing it in your messaging, you're doing it on X. You're making women feel unsafe in this country. And you're making the opportunity for women and girls to be raped, to be sexually abused in this country, even greater than they've ever.
How we got there, because I tried to make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or not.
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
will.
am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
Point of order.
Order. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
No, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point.
Is it allowed in the rules for a member to incite violence against another member? I mean, she wants to take it outside with.
Hey, I have the First Amendment right too,
and
young
so
man.
I'd like those words
right.
to be
I'm not
taken
gonna be a
down.
child.
I am
I'm not
moving
gonna
to
be
have
called a
those
child
words
by
taken
any
down.
of you.
I believe it's against the rules to
Going
incite
outside doesn't
violence
incite violence.
against another
You have a
member of
conversation
Congress.
that isn't.
The committee will
interrupting this
suspend.
committee.
The member will state the words he wishes taken down.
School. According to Bill Maher, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett isn't exactly carrying herself like a traditional lawmaker. Instead, he says she's acting more like a social media influencer with a seat in Congress. Rather than focusing on policy and professionalism, Maher accuses her of using slang during official hearings and ignoring the seriousness of House procedures. Believes the Democratic Party is drifting away from real debate and leaning into dramatic, attention-grabbing moments. In his view, it's no longer about substance. It's about who can make the biggest splash on camera. The focus, he says, has shifted from experience and insight to bold one-liners and viral moments. Maher didn't hold back. He suggested that the party is picking rising stars based on volume, not vision, almost like a reality show casting call. And that's where his main concern lies. If Democrats continue choosing showmanship over serious leadership, they risk turning Congress into a stage for entertainment, not governance. His message is a warning if the party doesn't return to thoughtful, policy-driven leadership.
Who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because because people will vote for AOC and Donald Trump on the same ticket. Because they're authentic. No, because they're authentic.
I don't think that Don.
I think you're wrong about that.
What people like about people like Trump and Fetterman is because it's irrelevant to her life.
But you don't know her life.
I know that being a gorgeous woman who I wouldn't even know was Hispanic in a city that has 1 million Hispanics and does not treat them badly.
But that doesn't mean she doesn't struggle. That doesn't mean that she was set down.
It implies it.
But that doesn't mean that she was set down in a Hispanic ghetto in the Bronx and had to deal with that growing up, and that she's come from a working class family.
It implies that it implies that in some way she's behind the 8 ball because of that, and it's just not true. And so
I don't know if she's behind the 8 ball, but I don't think she's as privileged as many people who are in Congress right now.
Is that privileged or not? She was a bartender.
Yeah.
So I was a delivery boy.
But I'm saying sometimes, Bill, you don't agree with Donald Trump's policies.
No.
But that's what the people want.
Some of them.
Whether you like her or not, I don't like what she did with Amazon in New York. But I think AOC she's a Democratic icon.
Well, she's the wrong. If you think that's the direction the country, the Democratic.
I'm not saying the policies that she espouses that's the direction, but I'm saying that you have to give the people who are out front speaking for the party, not the people who are.
If you think
she's evolving,
yeah, she's evolving.
They may find themselves getting attention, but not results. School. Here's the situation. Don Lemon, once a key figure at CNN, is standing by his claim that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC, is popular because she's authentic. He points to her social media presence, personal stories, and humble background as proof. But Bill Maher isn't convinced. He's raising eyebrows at the idea that AOC is still just a regular person. Maher says, sure, AOC came from modest beginnings, but she's now part of a political and media world that most everyday people can't relate to. He's not saying she's flying around in private jets, but he doesn't buy the idea that she's still living the same struggle as many Americans. And that's the bigger issue he's pointing out. Maher believes that the progressive left is starting to sell authenticity like a product. Show some emotion on camera, mention a tough past, and suddenly you're seen as a champion of the people. But if anyone questions that image, they're quickly labeled out of touch, or worse. So while Don Lemon celebrates AOC as a true voice for the people, Maher is pressing pause. His take? Being relatable isn't about being loud or polished online. It's about staying grounded, even after the spotlight hits. School Bill Maher, once a staple of progressive comedy, has taken on a new role.
And then, as if I had just manifested it, I see this headline somebody sent me a few days ago. Gavin Newsom name-checked me in how much he wanted to, how he wanted to move.
Because he's starting a podcast.
Yes.
What he wants to talk to dissenting
everybody.
Voices. Yeah.
So I'm like, thank you, Jesus. This is the direction we want to go with. So if you can get AOC there toward the middle, but again, for the people that come up to me, Bill, what are we going to do? Well, you can't do much because you lost all the levers of power.
True.
What you can do, the thing that you can do, is get on your side to not look crazier than him. That's all you can do. Now go back to your $800 4-plate dinner while you're worrying about how the world is going to end.
What do you say? You don't want to look as crazy as he does?
That's the only thing liberals can do. Just don't do shit that makes people go, oh, Trump, he's just crazy, but at least he doesn't. And then whatever the crazy story of the day is from
so you're making my point. The other side should. I don't believe that they should not be as crazy. Why not?
Crazy in what way? Like the guy who was shaking his cane?
You said the only thing that Democrats should be is not be as crazy as Donald Trump. But why not?
not hold policy positions and beliefs and support silly things that are crazier. Not to give it away, but I guess it'll air before this does. Friday night, my thing that I was just working on is about the Oscars. I saw it started with a land acknowledgement. That's the kind of thing that makes people roll their eyes.
The land acknowledgement. I missed that part. What was it?
It's like when you're at some place like the Oscars, and before you can even start, you have to acknowledge that this is the land that we are standing on that really belongs to the proud Chumash people.
In recent years, the frustrated commentator urging the Democratic Party to get back on track. He hasn't changed teams, and he's certainly not joining the far right. In fact, he still wants Democrats to succeed. But he's worn out by what he sees as distractions, #politics, viral moments, and constant debates about identity that often overshadow real solutions. Maher's main concern? The party, he says, is losing focus. Instead of leading with experience and common sense, too many are chasing attention online. He believes the energy is going into performance, not progress, and he's calling for a reset. Less show, more substance. He's not turning his back on the left. His criticism comes from someone who still believes in the core values, but is worried they're getting lost. He wants Democrats to be taken seriously again, to focus on governing, not grabbing. Headlines. Maher's message is simple. Return to the basics. Be the grown-ups in the room. Focus on real problems, not popularity contests. In today's political climate, that might just be the boldest message anyone on the left can offer. Thanks for sticking with us. If you value honest conversations and thoughtful takes, give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more content that cuts through the noise. See you in the next one.